Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, is that what we're doing? Having fun? That's. I deserve a medal. You know me well enough to know that was me being diplomatic. Mm-hmm. So this is Wesh talking about the Sanford smell. Yeah, I'm sure it's not the mayor that's making with the clickety-clacks to try to make this thing work.
I wish they would ask why just like 3 more times. A Pepe Le Pew cartoon going, sorry,
My
it stinks,
goodness,
I'm working
dude.
on it. That was so tone deaf. It is our top priority. It is on order. If you wanted to be funny, maybe do a watch and go, hey, every day I'm going to give you an update on the tracking of where this item is, what part it is in the process.
This AI slop shit is really getting on my nerves.
It's happening, Zouain.
Okay, look, I am okay with analytical stuff. I use it for analytical stuff. Now we're talking about events.
Fox 35's Marie Ettinger found out this is a huge blow to local businesses who usually see a spike in sales from that event.
I have to say that I get why they're not doing it. Sanford, Florida, where the past and present dance like a jitterbug on the St. Johns River. Founded in 1877 by Henry Sanford, this city was once the celery capital of the world. Its fields feeding the nation, steamboats puffed along the river bringing settlers and goods to this bustling hub. By the roaring 20s, the town thrived and the Grand Hotel Forest stood tall until scandal saw it shuttered. But like a phoenix, it rose again as the Mayfair Inn, welcoming baseball greats and high society. As decades passed, Sanford weathered storms, booms, and busts, but its heart never wavered. Today, with a lively downtown, craft breweries, and a nod to its rich history, Sanford stands proud with a charming blend of old Florida grit and new Florida flair. And it's with that spirit that we give you the Sanford Sitdown.
Oh, yeah.
The N.FM, I am DJ Zouain. Welcome. This is the Sanford Sitdown. Doing kind of a bit of a more stripped down version. Trying something new, mainly because of time. One of the things that I want to do is record the show and stream the show from one of the iconic places. I'm not going to say where, but one of the iconic places. That'll be the next one, I think. I'm going to try to make it the next one. But this one is being recorded out of and streamed out of Zouain Manor. That is my place. So welcome. Not very many people come into this place, so consider yourselves my friends. We don't have the 3 hosts. We only have 2 hosts. Joe today is taking care of some personal business, and so she will be joining us next time. But who we do have is we have Christina Hollerbach. Hi, Christina.
Hello.
How are you?
Feeling Doubtfire-ish today. Hello.
Hello. How's life? It's been a minute. It's been a minute since we've done this.
Fair Villa.
Was it the Fair Villa one? So yeah, like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, is that what we're doing? Having fun? That's
surviving, having fun. Yeah.
It's
all about how you feel about it.
Okay, well then, we don't want to talk about how I feel about it then. Since we've last chatted, a few things have changed, and I was going to do a Sanford sit-down after I came back from Halloween, but there was just so much stuff going on that we kind of needed to talk about this. So much so that I completely redid the Sanford sit down template on my home computer, all of it. It was just, there was too much stuff going on, it's too much stuff. So we have some things to talk about. There's some poop smelling that is going on in the city of Sanford that we have been dealing with for far too long. And so I wanted to talk to you about that. I wanted to talk to you about, obviously, Porch Fest being canceled for 2026. That's devastating. That really, really sucks. That's heartbreaking. That's one of the biggest. It's one of the biggest events that we hold every year, and it feels like just another one of many events that get axed for something regarding local people.
Dynamics.
Sure. I'm trying to be. This is me. I deserve a medal. You know me well enough to know that was me being diplomatic. Mm-hmm. And so,
well, I mean, ultimately, Sanford's having a really tough PR time right now. It seems they've been one week into the next with something that's very upsetting and devastating to the community.
It's just, it's heartbreaking, and it's local. So, like, it's not something that, when you have a place that, in my opinion, and I am a big advocate of Sanford, have been for many years now. Christina, you're one of the reasons why I really believe in Sanford. It was because I sat down with you and we had over drinks. We talked about things. Wolfpack, obviously. We align on so many things, both musically and politically, which. Some things she and I disagree on a lot of other things. So for those of you combing the internet for things to say,
challenges and differences in opinion is what makes us grow stronger as individuals.
And not only that, but it's also both sides. When I'm talking to you, even about things that we disagree on, it's all in good faith. Like, we're not just trying to, it's not a game of, I'm just trying to get one over on you.
To me, it's always about empathy and understanding.
And that's it. What's going on today in Sanford doesn't seem like it is benefiting Sanford. The things that have been happening recently have not been benefiting Sanford. And I recall the petition that was out having the city manager retire, whatever. However, this is me trying. I'm trying.
I worded the petition as kind of a forced retirement, but ultimately, unless it's his choice, it would be considered a termination.
Sure. So ultimately, I am not surprised, but I am sad that another event that we have lost, at least for 2026. And I can only imagine that it is going to not be the same when it comes back in 2027, because that's just the way things go. That's just how things happen.
Is part of it. I mean, we just brought back Oktoberfest after having a hiatus as well. And of course it went well and stuff, but it's different. It always will be. Yeah.
So I just, so there was a piece by Wesh, W-E-S-H, that...
I've never heard anybody spell it before.
That's
WPRK in Cincinnati.
Yeah, right. It's the old radio in me. So Wesh did a piece on the Sanford smell, and I feel like we should at least take a look at that. So this is Wesh talking about the Sanford smell, and I wanted to bring them up because this is how the surrounding towns think of us. When they see stuff like this.
Living near a wastewater treatment plant rarely smells great, but in some parts of Sanford, the stench has gotten worse.
Yeah, so everyone wants to know what's going on. We sent West Jew's Michelle Meredith to Sanford to sniff it out for us. And Michelle, is it as bad as they say it is?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. I'm sure some of our producers envisioned us being live next to this wastewater treatment plant, but Mike Kirby, the photographer I'm working with today, and myself, we could see no compelling reason to do that because, yes, it's that bad.
What's kind of foam green sits off Layton Row and is stinking up a storm? You said it makes you want to throw up?
Yes, ma'am. It does.
It's Sanford's wastewater
it
treatment
makes you want
plant.
to throw up.
Stefan Singleton, who lives on Avocado Avenue, is able to
a
translate what his nose is picking up.
I believe that's leading the witness, ma'am.
Like poop?
Yes, ma'am. Like poop.
Now, given what goes on at a wastewater treatment plant, the thought of getting a big whiff of an unpleasant smell isn't exactly breaking news.
When we first got here, we couldn't smell anything, and then it hit us like a ton of bricks. Definitely mask-worthy.
So what's happening? Well, Sanford's had a bit of a bad run at this treatment plant. To keep matters simple, one of the plant's odor control units is broken. You heard right, the odor control unit.
It's tough being mayor, isn't it?
Sometimes.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be laughing,
Now,
dude.
kudos to Sanford's mayor for having the intestinal fortitude to take on this stinky matter in an interview. And as Mayor Woodruff says, when things break at a wastewater plant, you can't exactly run down to the hardware store and buy parts for it.
Which is why you have backups.
The odorizing unit, a filtering unit, except it's a lot bigger and a lot more powerful.
So by the time parts are made, which will take over 8 weeks, and they get installed, Sanford's mayor says they might not get relief till October or November. Known for its beautiful lakefront and authentic downtown, can stinky be synonymous with Sanford? Be good for business?
I've gotten messages from, we were downtown, but we left. We couldn't stay.
That drone shot looked familiar.
Meanwhile, on Avocado Avenue, Stefan has a message for the city of Sanford.
Hurry up. Immediately.
Hey, shout out Stefan.
So, as you have correctly surmised, it's going to take a little while to clear the air.
Clear the air? Come on.
Live in Sanford, Michelle Meredith, West 2.
It kind of reminds me of like those British daytime, and today we're going to do this thing, and she just has like a certain cadence about her that's just lovely.
I love the clear the air. Like that was so theatrical. But yeah, no, look. By the way, that was just one of several pieces. That one was from a month ago. So Stefan is probably still pissed because it did not happen right away.
So the problem is, why does it take for it to break to start fixing it?
Correct.
If we know these facilities aren't being maintained, or that these pieces of vital equipment are running towards the end of their life, and we know they're custom, and we know it's government, and we know it's going to take a long time, let's be a little bit more proactive about when we're maintaining this equipment. Do we have these things on hand? Are we in a place to prevent these kind of crises? And crises?
Crises, I think it's crises.
But that's what we see all the time with the city. And Art knows, I often call him out for not being proactive, but like, that's the whole point of our city manager. They should be looking at our city holistically and figuring out where those gaps are and what do we need to do to be prepared. And I want to reiterate as much as possible, these are all good people. Even though I'll be running against Art for mayor, they are good people, but I still don't feel like they have the vision that Sanford needs, matching the needs of our community. We've grown and changed so much over the last decade, and I feel like we need better systems and integration and connection to our community to get the city to meet us at the level that we're at. And I just don't feel like they're there.
They said something about it could be November. When I heard about it, it was like November before they got the part. And my first thought is, why don't you get 2 or 3 of these parts?
I mean, if they have a shelf life or a working life of a decade, you don't need that many on hand. But again, it should be what equipment is vital. How long is its length of time of being able to function and operate?
Yeah.
Just like any other business, if I have HVAC, it's not going to work forever.
No.
I have to maintenance it. And I have to know that after about 15, 20 years, no matter if I've maintenance it or not, it's going to need repair. Am I prepared for that repair? Do I have those components on hand? Do I have a vendor that's ready to make those things? This is their job. The city, the infrastructure it takes to run a city, that is on them. That's what we pay them to do. So it's not like they can be like, man, I forgot about, I was supposed to do. That is your job, is to provide the infrastructure that we need to function.
The reason I say backups is because, if it was something that was like, okay, it's been 10 years or 15, or however long this thing is supposed to work, and it's past that time. At that point, yes, of course, that's a problem with the local, with like whoever is in charge of that, because at the same time, like I'm saying, like the mayor, because that's the head of the whole thing. Like, yeah, I'm sure it's not the mayor that's making with the clickety clacks to try to make this thing work. I am sure that there is somebody that is assigned this thing that is not happening. Or maybe it is,
or not getting the support,
or not getting the support they need. Maybe they're like, oh well, we can't afford that. Well, this thing's gonna break, and then it breaks, and they're like, well, we didn't have them. Well, where is the money going? Like, what is? There are certain things that are a priority in a city. I think having potable water, having electricity, having all of these things being fully operational. That's what poop smells right there.
And no one likes to talk about garbage and waste and
Yeah.
sewage, but it's a huge part of what cities do.
It's
that we rely on them to function properly.
Okay, so like big cities, like I'm sure I have friends like in Richmond or in New York that are like, oh
Richmond's
yeah,
a big city.
Richmond, a bigger city than freaking Sanford, a bigger city than Sanford. I mean, we have what, 60,000 people here?
65.
Okay, 65,000 people. Hey Google, how many people live in Richmond, Virginia?
She's not going to listen to you.
233,000.
That's fine. It's still not like big city.
It's a medium-sized city.
Continue.
It's a small, medium-sized city. They had a brownout. They had different things that are, to me, like way beyond a city that has 250,000 people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We have 60 million people and we have poop smell. Both of these issues are issues that are above our level, right?
Yeah, especially for having a high millage rate, for having in theory, the right staff in place. So where's the breakdown?
Sure.
And I feel like I've made this analogy a lot, especially in regards to the mayor, of just, I wish they would ask why just 3 more times. Because when you come in with a problem, Art is receptive. He wants to fix it. He doesn't want things to not do well.
So him asking 3 more times, you said? Okay.
So it's like, okay, so why did this happen? Okay, great. This is how we're going to fix it. But let's just keep asking why. But why does this happen so many times? Why does this happen to this many people? Why is this system like this? Where is this dropping the ball?
Yeah.
And I make the analogy to a triage situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I keep coming in the hospital and I've got a scraped knee,
you
can go, oh, that's a scraped knee. Here's antibiotics. Here's a Band-Aid. Go on your way. But if the same person keeps coming in with a scraped knee, or multiple people keep coming in with
what
a
are you
scraped
doing?
knee, aren't you eventually going to be like, yo, what y'all tripping on? Where are you falling? Why are you falling? And I want that extra level of why. And I think the other problem with the whole smell is not just that, hey, they didn't notice that this was failing and they didn't fix it in enough time. The PR of how they handled it was just a case study in no-nos. The transparency, accountability, that should be step 1, step 2. A Pepe Le Pew cartoon going, sorry, it stinks, I'm working on it. That was so tone deaf. You can still be funny and you can still make light, but you also have to own it. And it has to be timely. You can't wait for 3 news stories to come out and all these social media groups blowing up before you go, hey, sorry, I know it stinks. Hey, we dropped the ball.
Yes.
We did not get this part in time, but it is expedient. It is our top priority. It is on order. If you wanted to be funny, maybe do a watch and go, hey, every day I'm going to give you an update on the tracking of where this item is, what part it is in the process. There's
That's
so many
actually really
ways
good.
that they could have owned it and communicated and told us that they were on top of it instead of being almost comically dismissive.
It was
to the
bad,
fact that people are upset.
It was bad, and it was AI, wasn't it?
And I think it was just a gif of.
Or it was just a gif, or there was another one that's been circulating that was. There's been a few this AI slop shit is really getting on my nerves, but
You and AI.
Dude,
it's happening, Zouain.
Okay, look, I am okay with analytical stuff. I use it for analytical stuff. Totally fine. Totally cool. What I don't like is when artwork is being done by a machine.
It should be used in conjunction with skills as a way to help you expedite a mission or get something across, and not as this is the only feature I'm using and here it is.
It is.
But in conjunction with other things, it is a skill.
Especially if you are in a creative field. If you are using AI to just churn out AI garbage. Don't get me started. Anyway.
They were going to turn out garbage no matter what.
Yeah.
Creatives will always be creative. And
yes, I know, but it's anyway.
AI tangent was Zouain. Guess who? What was triggered?
Speaking of poop. Yeah, right? So, anyway. All right, so let's talk about this other piece that has been the talk of the town, and really the reason that I did this emergency Sanford sit-down. Because, now we're talking about events. And This is out of, I'm sorry, Fox 35 Orlando. I'm not using their call letters because I get yelled at now.
FOX 35.
That is not their call letters. Their call letters are not I don't remember their call letters, but it's not that. Anyway.
The annual event in February has been canceled for next year.
As Fox 35's Marie Edinger found out, this is a huge blow to local businesses who usually see a spike in sales from that event.
The nonprofit that puts Porch Fest together emphasized this is not goodbye. They're just taking a little break.
For years on end, the fourth Saturday of each February has been filled with music hosted out of downtown Sanford homes. But in 2026, Central Florida's favorite free music festival is taking a break.
It's been the thing that people love every year, so definitely disappointing to hear that.
Sanford business owners are even more disappointed.
We do a tremendous amount of business on that Saturday, which is so helpful to us.
And to be clear, this won't be a big enough hit to sink local businesses. For instance, I heard plenty of this when I chatted with people downtown about Porch Fest.
I don't even know what that is. Yeah, I never heard that before, but I love music and that sounds cool.
But Porch Fest has skyrocketed in popularity. When the festival first started in Sanford, it had 600 attendees and raised $1,000. Last year, 74 bands played for 35,000 people. And the festival raised $70,000 for youth arts programs and fine art scholarships.
It was really cool.
Porch Fest's organizers said delays in finalizing logistics with the necessary parties and the need for a unified plan to sustain the festival's future have made it impossible to move forward and deliver the level of magic as we've grown to expect. Rather than compromise the integrity and quality of the experience, we believe it is best to pause, reflect, and work toward building a stronger foundation for the years ahead.
When Porch Fest comes back in February of 2027, that'll have been 10 years since their first event. In Sanford, Marie Edinger, Fox 35 News.
I have to say that I get why they're they're not doing it. I do. So from an event perspective, not being able to do the thing the way that you're supposed to do it is like, if you don't put on events, you don't know what it's like. And when you have people or entities putting a damper on that and making it so that you can't, like, it's frustrating, man. It's
an
frustrating.
all-volunteer organization.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult. And I'll preface with this too. Sanford Porch was put out that statement for a reason, and they haven't been engaging with comments or putting out additional information for that reason.
Sure.
So the interesting thing about festivals, especially in a city, is no matter what, you always have to work with the city. You can't change that vendor.
Sure.
So it's a very
that's true.
difficult dance of knowing, hey, I'm frustrated, but also these are my partners. These are my collaborators, and I have to work with them in the future to make this work. So I think Porch Fest is doing it the right way of trying to be honest about their decision for canceling and why, but also that they want to work and collaborate with the city in the future to make this event possible in the years to come. So I think the important thing to remember here is to give both the organizers and that entire organization grace about the difficulty it was to make this decision.
Sure. And
even though I am frustrated with the city, we also need to get off their backs a little bit too, because
in what way? That's a
because they, we say they and the city leadership, but it is a difficult thing. We have called special event recreation committees, CERT committees, where it is literally the fire department's there, the police department's there, garbage and waste is there, electricity is there. All these people sit at this table to try and make these events happen, and it isn't easy to organize those logistics. As someone who's been through the process before, both as Main Street and as Hollerbox and Pints and Paws and all these other things, those are good people that want these events to happen, that are trying their best, but it is difficult. I have lots of opinions about how to make it better and more streamlined in the future.
And where can people find that, Christina?
But there's if we really want these things and value these things in the community, we should put an emphasis on creating better systems to support these private entities or public entities from putting these events on. So there's room to grow to be better, but I also respect both parties that this is a difficult decision that no one wants. The thing I'm so frustrated with is, again, the PR side of it. I hate that the city, like they did to me with Oktoberfest and Jingle Jam. Oh, well, the organizer pulled that event. Again, just like with the poop, take ownership. Hey, we are sorry as a city that we didn't come to a conclusion and a decision with this organization faster. We are going to do better next year. I just would love to see them take some accountability in their actions and figure out what is their vision. You know, like, okay, infrastructure is important. It's part of the bare minimum of what they need to do. That should be a priority.
That is literally,
Safety and culture and arts is hugely important to their constituents. And the reason why people moved here, that should be high on their list and their vision. Yeah. So I think that for me, it's like, what are the city's priorities and what are they doing each day towards those goals? And I would just love to see ownership and accountability and them actually taking action on the things that matter to cities.
Do you see more events being canceled in the future or in 2026 at this rate?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
and like,
I just want to be prepared, man, because I like my Sanford events. I like being walking distance from all of these great events, and it sounds to me like the city of Sanford is not very business friendly.
They are not, and they are also aware of that, as they've hired a consultant to tell them
that. I'm sorry. They needed a consultant to tell them that they were. I live a mile and a half. I ride my bike past their offices every day. I'll stop by. I'll let you know. Also, the poop smell. It smells bad. Do you want?
So, and Commissioner Britton even said this on record. She still voted to pursue the relationship with the consultant, but also said, you know, sometimes I feel like we could do some of this internally. I don't think you need to hire somebody to tell you that this is broken.
Yeah.
You know, but they offer so much more services outside of identifying a problem. They interview stakeholders, create policies, and that's great. But my problem is, okay, you paid the consultant, which, you know, for the public, we go, oh, look, they're doing something. But then what happens? The public goes, okay, they're on it. I can stop paying attention to it.
Back to brunch.
And then that thing goes right back on a shelf, gets dust on it until it becomes a problem and they bring it back up again. So it's those actions speak louder than words. And I feel like not just City of Sanford, all government has the same playbook. They know that there's public fatigue. And we all have jobs outside of holding the city commission accountable, going to 8-hour-long meetings twice a week.
Oh,
you know,
my
so
God.
they know if we placate them enough to look like we're doing something and kick the can down the road,
dude,
they're going to give up and we can go back to doing the bare minimums. And so, like, my biggest call to action about the poop smell, about the fire tax, about the Olivet Mayfair Hotel, about loss of special events, if you care this much about these things and the way things are going, show up.
What are the top 3 things that a pissed off citizen that is not working for the government, that doesn't have, that isn't applying for permits for events, that doesn't have that level of stake in it, what can regular Joe Schmo citizen of Sanford do?
And unfortunately, it's give me your time. You know, like
what does that mean?
These meetings are so long.
So
but
meetings.
Show up. I mean, they can get 100 emails a day. They can get 100 comments on social media a day.
Yeah.
But they know that's still, what is it, the cowboy keyboard. You know?
Yeah.
They do have an indicator to officials that realize, oh, this is something heated that people care about.
Yeah.
But an email takes a minute, especially if you copy and paste some form letter. They go, okay, this person cared enough to send it, but what?
So
what
sending an email.
So that's to me is bare minimum.
Bare minimum. Sending an email.
Hey, I'm telling an elected official how I feel about something.
Yeah.
But showing up and not just like, hey, I'm going to sit at the meetings and pay attention. There are so many opportunities to be on boards.
Yeah.
You know, go be on P&Z if that's in your experience or background, Historic Preservation Board, the Airport Authority, there's the Sanford Museum. There are lots of boards where you can get involved as a volunteer and committee member. I mean, the Olivet church that owns the Mayfair building, planning and zoning board had to make that decision. It was such a difficult decision to make. And those are volunteer citizens in your community that have backgrounds in real estate, backgrounds as attorneys. Those are just normal people like you who said, I care enough about what's happening in the city that I put my name out there. I put in the application. I joined this board. If you want to make a difference, you have to show up. And I know that the world is literally on fire, and the idea of giving away your time to go hold, a city manager who makes almost $300,000 accountable to do
I'm
his
sorry,
job
how much?
really sucks. But that's what it takes if you want to see the change.
$300,000
for a 4-day work week. Yeah.
$330,000 a year?
Not 330, almost 300.
Oh, almost 300. Still, okay, that doesn't make it any better. Almost, so $250,000 a year. Easy. Good Lord.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like,
and they outsource their job to consultants on average,
like,
about $150,000 per contract. But it's government. It's not just here. It's government. That's how it works.
I want to run my company like that. I want to white label somebody else's progress. Oh, my God. Oh, that's annoying.
But I do feel like that job is worth that amount because it is difficult, but I want them to be held accountable to the standards.
To actually do the difficult job, you mean?
The things, yeah.
Yeah, so you, in your eyes, a city manager should not have a consulting firm.
No, they should.
They should.
They're very essential, but time and place.
Time and place.
Again, if you're gonna pay for the consultant, you have to follow through with the plan they give you.
Yeah.
They're there to flesh it out and give you sound advice.
It's kind of like a therapist.
Use their expertise. But then if they hand you this awesome freaking plan and you go, okay, thank you so much, and you put it on a shelf and you never do anything about it, why did we do this?
Yeah.
What their work. We mentioned open for business. And I just came from the State of the Cities event run by the Sanford Chamber today at the Sanford Civic Center.
All right.
Our economic developer, Tony Raimondo, gave a really nice presentation where this is what I love about Tony. We may not agree eye to eye on everything, but he does take accountability for his actions. He goes, you know what? You guys are right. We are not open for business. I'm going to make this a priority. Here's what's going on. These are 17 areas we failed at, and this is what I want to do to fix them.
Oh, damn.
And then he gives you an update. I got 14 out of these 17 things done. Here's the 3 I didn't do. Here's what we're going to do about them. So even if I don't always agree with him, he is available, he is transparent, and he is able to recognize and own up to when something's not working and make attempts to fix it.
Just own up.
And fixing stuff in government is hard. You can have all the money in the world, all the time in the world, the right consultants, the right people. Affecting change at a citywide scale is difficult. So I have no problem when things take a while as long as I know they're being worked on. Tony's really good about that.
Do you know what it takes? Like, for example, and if you don't, I'm sure, do you have an idea, I guess? More of an idea. I'm sure you have more of an idea than I do. Do we know why it took so long? Like, I want to know, like...
There's a very clear chain of command about who's responsible for what. And I feel the breakdown is communication and process. Because even, they identified that the sewer system fails, right?
Sure.
At Halliburton. It took 4.5 years for them to research what was wrong, figure out how to fix it, figure out how to fund it, then actually put out the RFP, then respond to the RFP, then get the permits, then construction, then oversee construction, and then confirm that it worked. So, yes, did it suck? Yes, did I lose a lot of money while it was broken?
Yeah.
Sure. But that's the process. And because of our government and being transparent and being in the public eye and having taxpayers, that's the way it has to be. So I have no problem that it, took forever, but as long as they're communicating and taking action. If I see them not taking action for 5 months because they haven't even put the RFP out yet, I'm going to get a little heated. But as long as I understand what the end goal is and what steps we need to get there, I'm always approaching it of how can I help expedite this process? What can I do? Process is everything, right?
Yeah.
It has to exist. Yeah. Rules have to exist. And I have no problem with them, but are they working the best for our community? Are they working best for our staff?
Yeah.
And so the consultant that Tony brought on for the development process is working on just that. So they've done internal process review right now.
Okay.
Now they're about to meet with stakeholders, including myself and a lot of other people who've been through these processes,
okay,
to get feedback from both the internal side from the city and what we're facing externally. And they're going to do an analysis.
And this is for
specific specifically for Tony's director of development. So
Okay.
it oversees planning and zoning, building permits,
Okay.
code enforcement.
All right.
And so, yes, is this a long process? Yes, I have told them for free all the things I'm going to tell this consultant.
Yeah.
But for them to affect real change, this is the system that it needs to be.
Sure.
So my big thing about it is if we go through this process and then this consultant presents to the commission in January,
Yeah.
and they all just go, oh, great, that sounds great, and they don't do anything in the plan, then Christina's going to get mad.
Sure.
But if they hear those results and Tony says, this is what I recommend the city commission approve, so I can do this, this, and this, and the city goes, yes, then I'm happy.
Sure.
Because that's what it takes to affect this kind of
How long is too long? Because I mean, like, I just think about I always go back to when you were no, it was Mike when we were doing this show. I think episode 2 or 3 or whatever at the Sullivan, and he was telling me about the $19,000 grease trap. Is that what it was? It was
closer to $50,000 when you're all said and done.
Oh my God!
But
it's
yeah.
they were like, what did they say? They were like, oh yeah, you need this grease trap, and they're like, yeah, that's not the right grease trap. What?
So that is also under review right now. It's based on a grease and oil trap manual written 17 years ago that's not since been reviewed, and it's on their list with the consultant to review and present back to the commission. So right now it's been more on the work session level of the current director of that program trying to talk the city into maintaining said manual, why there's a lot of us fighting to find a better compromise.
Yeah.
But again, it's just like with Porch Fest. Like, I want to tell you how I feel, but these are also the people I have to interact with no matter what. So I have to be very careful about, like, this is what I think we should do, and this is what we're experiencing. But also, I still respect the hell out of the people who have to do this job. And I understand they have very different motivations than me.
And I'll tell you this.
I want to call her the protector of the pipes, like the little Lorax guy.
I'll tell you this. I can't be more glad that I am not in the communications team right now.
Yes, it's a super challenging job.
Man, props to you. All the weed in Compton couldn't get me to do that shit.
Also, you guys should be really proud of me for not commenting on there the way I want to.
I know. No. I think that you had to.
I love when you just like my emoji reacts because I know that we know that I know.
We see each other. It's just I see it, and I'm just like
I do, but I honestly do. I respect the hell out of all the people in that department because it is so incredibly challenging because there's nothing. It's a lose-lose. There's nothing you can say that's going to fix everything.
Because you're in a position, and this is why I'm saying I'm glad, is because you're in a position of no power when it comes to the things that people are actually bitching about.
Yeah.
Like even that less than tactful emoji or GIF that they put out.
It had good intentions. It just didn't hit right.
Exactly. And like I see where they were going with that, and if it was like, hey, we got it fixed, that would have probably been a little bit better, but it's still a bunch of people losing money because of all of this. Like, dude, I can't tell you how freaking annoyed I get when I'm like, oh man, it's really nice out. It's like 70 degrees out, and I'm getting ready to ride 15 miles, and I'm doing it on the waterway, and half of that ride is just getting beat up by smells.
Yeah.
It's an endurance trial.
You're welcome.
So.
Well, and this is the other thing that really sucks, and even us talking about it right now.
Yeah.
I hate that when people think about Sanford, they go, oh, that's the place that's not open for business. That's the place that smells like crap. That's the place. And it breaks my heart. And I wish that the commission and the city leadership would address that more honestly. Because I know they don't want that either. But then why does the PR and the decisions they continue to make support this narrative of us versus them when we should be approaching this all as collaborative partners?
Yeah. Like I said, I've said this before because I've been, in addition to doing media and stuff around town, I've also DJ'd here for the last 4.5 years. And I DJ'd in 2007 in the Orlando area, in downtown Orlando, where at least for millennials my age, that was like peak
Elder millennials.
Elder millennials, yes. That was like peak downtown Orlando for us. And I got to tell you that Sanford kind of reminds me of that. It gives me that vibe when it's at its best. And when it's at its worst, it really hurts and it sucks because I mean, I have people coming in from all over the world, friends of mine from all over the world that'll come out here. One of my friends, one of my family members, we were walking down past Hollerbox, and one of the things they said, I think it was my aunt, she was like, this reminds me of the colonial area of Santo Domingo. And I'm like, holy shit, you're absolutely right. There's so much cool stuff, so much beautiful stuff here in Sanford that we just don't, we don't take for granted, but it feels like sometimes our government takes for granted.
They're in constant crisis mode.
Yeah.
Because they're defending themselves, they're not being proactive, so they're just that they don't have time to accentuate the positive as much as they should.
Yeah.
And they do make efforts to do that as well. And just like any media, people love the negative more than the positive.
Sure.
So like when Lisa puts out a nice post about our city staff doing amazing things and them all smiling, it's a really great post that gets like one comment and 5 likes, but they post a map that's broken about a water boil notice and it gets shared all over the place. So I get that they are also trying to say happy things sometimes, but they don't hit the same way, which sucks. But I think if we focus on that just more and bombard people with the positivity and the beauty that we have in Sanford, we can overcome a lot of these PR challenges.
I think so too. I wanted to do this before I left for Halloween. Because I have been DJing here for 4.5 years, and I don't think I've DJ'd I haven't DJ'd a single Halloween here because of I go to Hula every year. But the surrounding days are very cool around here, very festive, and I really hope
and that's what I love about Sanford, for everyone.
Yeah.
So like the historic districts, passing out candy and people decorating their porch, but then you'll have like some fun Halloween costume parties for adults at the bars on the weekend. But and for me, I get to live both those roles. I get to pass out candy on Halloween day, and I'll get to dress dumb and go to West End.
Exactly.
So it's fun that we have both of these experiences in the same place, and they can get along so well together.
Are you dressing up for Halloween this year?
So I have multiple events.
Okay.
But tomorrow I'm actually speaking at the Seminole County Chamber Business Alliance about Boost Your Brand. And because of Halloween, they encourage the panelists to dress up. But you know me, I got so many outfits. I wasn't sure which one. I was kind of leaning on She-Hulk because she still wears, purple power suits. At least it's like corporate attire.
That's true. Yeah, that makes sense.
It feels so dumb being green at 11:30. I don't know why.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
So I was going through my costume repertoire, and I landed on Miss Frizzle for my panel discussion because I feel like she gives off a very similar energy. Like, hey, I'm gonna take you on a magic ride, and we're gonna learn some shit, and it's gonna be fun, and I'm gonna fix some problems.
I'm about that.
But I did already have the solar system dress, so I just needed to get a wig and an iguana. And I also I looked at it is a chameleon, not an iguana, but its name is Liz Ard, even though it's a chameleon, which I wonder if it's more of an homage to. No, I guess not, because it was Lily Tomlin that did her voice. So I don't know. So
you know
Liz
a lot
Ard.
about you know a lot about Miss Frizzle. I did not know that.
I have a whole theory that Miss Frizzle is actually a Time Lord. Everything makes sense. The school bus, bigger on the inside, on the outside. It travels through space and time. That's totally a freaking TARDIS. The school bus is a TARDIS.
Okay.
And Miss Frizzle has this quirky, unworldly energy about her anyway.
Okay. All right.
I feel like she's a Time Lord. So.
I think that's a solid one. I think that's a solid one, and you don't have to bathe in green at 9 a.m. So I have a maybe we'll close it out with this Halloween talk because I have an issue. I you didn't have to agree that fast. Thanks. Appreciate that.
I already know what side I'm on, and I don't even know the problem.
No, it's not a side thing. It's not okay. So my issue is that I have two solid costumes that I've put together that work solid because of like my aesthetic, right? So I have Maui from Moana, and then I have Jesus. And so, like, Halloween is technically 4 days long.
Yeah.
And so I've already used, for Friday and Saturday, I've already used both Maui and Jesus.
Yeah.
I wanted to get 2 new ones for Friday and Saturday and maybe get like a Thursday one, like use one of the repeats, maybe Maui, depending on the weather. If it's cold, then I'll be Jesus. If it's warm, then I'll be Maui.
Well, I mean, who else is famous that's brown with a beard?
Who else is famous that's brown?
Let's start with that.
With that? I don't know. Like, it's gotta be like everybody knows type famous, not just like, you know what I'm saying? It's yeah, so I don't know. So I'm gonna need you to help me with that in the next I leave a week from today. Like right now, in 166 hours, I should be well into Halloween mode. I should be in my first costume if things work out well.
Maybe can you mash up Moana and Jesus in some way?
Moana Jesus?
I don't.
No.
Is there a Maui Jesus mashup?
A Maui Jesus? No. I think that there's so many people with beards and tattoos and long hair. There's gotta be. I need help. So if you're
okay. Stay with me.
Okay, here we go.
What would if Guy Fieri grew up in the Dominican Republic?
If Guy Fieri, you want me to wear
Dr. Guy Fieri?
Dr. What would that look like?
I don't know.
Oh God, that sounds hilarious. The more I think about it, the more hilarious it sounds. I don't have Hawaiian shirts though, and like. I would need the wraparound glasses.
You need the flames. It's the flames.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's the flames and the wraparound glasses. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, maybe that. That's a standby. But it's too specific. It's got to be like.
Is it though?
It's got to be as
you want somebody to recognize you from across the room.
Like that's Maui or like that's like I show up without even the hook and people are like it's Maui.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to wear the crown of thorns, although I do, to be Jesus, and people already know I'm Jesus. Mm-hmm. So actually, I think I upset somebody when I was at.
You upset somebody?
I know.
Why dressed as Jesus? I'm so surprised.
I know, but it was at like a place that people shouldn't be upset about that. You know what I'm saying?
What were we just talking about? The city. You need to take accountability.
Nice. All right. Well, we're gonna close it out with that. I can't do anything better than that. That was a great callback. That was solid.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was good. Christina, thank you for coming by again, as per usual. The second co-host. Shout out to Joe. Hopefully she's feeling better. And my name's DJ Zouain. You can find me on social media at DJ Zouain on all social media. You can also find me at West End on Saturdays. Not this Saturday is the last Saturday, and then I'm going to go to Halloween, and then I'm coming back. So it'll be I'm off for a Saturday. So, but other than that, you can usually find me at West End DJing from 10 to 2 on Saturdays. So check me out there. Follow the Hijack. Follow Irreverent. Follow the Sanford Sitdown. Follow my DJ page, and follow Jesus. I don't really care. Thanks. Peace.